Hey friends, we're on episode 10, and before I get started, I just wanted to say on my walk this morning, I saw such beautiful flowers. I'm so inspired, and I really have such a simple garden and so much to learn. But let's go ahead and get started. Today we're talking about the peony and the iris, and they both have similarities. They both pop up every year because they're perennials. You plant them both in the fall, 4 to 6 weeks before your frost. They actually blossom late spring, and they have about 2 weeks of blossoming of their life of their flower, and they share mythological stories also. So the iris right here, their Greek mythology comes from the Greek goddess Iris herself, and she was the communicator between the heavens of Zeus and earth, and she communicated through the rainbow. And it makes sense because there's over 300 species of colors in the iris. And with that, it covers everything. Now, the iris, you can actually cut, split, give to your friends. They're very simple and put in a vase. They're very easy. They love to travel. And right over here, I have a special guest. This is a shout out to Tennessee because this is Tennessee state flower right there. So from Jersey to Tennessee, there you go. Let's go on over to the peony. Now the peony seems like it could be difficult and a little fussy, but it's really not. Once you plant your peony, the only key is it's a homebody, so it doesn't like to travel or be transplanted. You really need to keep it where it's planted. You give it its sun, its soil, its rain, maybe a little coffee grinds, and you wait 1 or 2 years to see your flowers. And she could be here for 100 years. That's how long they can live. Now, once you see the flowers, don't get greedy and start cutting them. Only cut 1/3 of what you see blossoming, only 1/3, because it needs the rest of these flowers to give it its strength for the coming years. Otherwise, they won't grow. And I think I got a little greedy one year because this year wasn't that strong. So only cut 1/3. Now with that, when you're ready to cut, there's no right or wrong, but there's 2 ways you can do it. The first one is if you want your flower to last at least 2 weeks in the vase, look for this one right here. And this is like a little marble. It's really tight and it hasn't opened up yet. Do not cut this one. Look for the one, and I've already cut one a little earlier, that we call more of a marshmallow. This one's a little more than a marshmallow, so I'll show you. It's a little squishier. It's already starting to open up. That's the one you want to cut. And you cut it below the first leaf, and it goes right into the water. The second way you can do it, and I do this a lot because I'm impulsive and I like color fast, is you cut one that's already blossomed. You cut it quickly and you put it in your water. But the key to this one is you need to rinse them out because the peony is very sweet and there's ants. They go right down in there and you may not see them right now, but they're in there, so you want to clean them out. Very simple way. Let's go on over and I'll show you. I'll grab these, they're already cut. Here's one of my marshmallows. See, it's nice and squishy, perfect. Let's go on over. So, the 2 Greek stories that are part of the peony. The first one is with the physician. His name was Peon. He created potions, and one of his teachers became very jealous with him and plotted his murder and his death. Zeus found out about it, and he turned the physician into a peony to save his life. The second one is a little more dramatic, and it takes place with the beautiful nymph called Peonia. And she was so beautiful that she actually caught the eye of Apollo, who is Zeus's son. Well, Aphrodite got word of that and was extremely jealous that somebody was more beautiful than her, and she turned her into the peony so Apollo could never lay eyes on her again. But to this day, she's still as beautiful. The nymph is still gorgeous. So those are my stories. Now, I wanted to tell you about when you cut one that's already blossomed like this one. The technique that you want to do is to take it to the faucet or in your sink and rinse it really, really well. Rinse it with lots of water, shake it, rinse it, shake it. That gets all the ants out. Or you can put it in a bucket and dunk it several times and then leave it for 1 hour. That will get your little ants out. turn it over, and you have a beautiful presentation. Now, the peony is the state flower of Indiana, so I wanted to give a shout out to that because they're really lucky to have that one. Friends, I hope you learned something, and next week we are going to talk about the roses. Love ya.